What is up, summoners? Welcome back to the channel today. It's been a long time since I've said that. Top of my head is getting cut off. Let me just chill back here. Actually, first off, yes, I did cut myself before you ask. And yes, I was fighting a bear. So, Tuesday. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday night's stream. Before I got on the stream, I had a wonderful idea that came to me while I sat on the porcelain throne, which is where most of my ideas come from, that I shared with the chat. And Tuesday night, if you were there, you know we were using Microsoft Paint, and I was like drawing out some of my ideas, which I rambled on for a few minutes. I'm not sure any of it made sense. But I thought it was an interesting enough idea that I wanted to continue to explore the thought behind it and just kind of get your personal opinion on it. And who knows where this will go? Probably nowhere. Do I expect Kabam to listen to this? No, I do not. They are a multi-million-dollar company with paid employees to do this stuff. However, I enjoy doing this, so we're gonna do it. All right, so my brilliant mind was thinking of how do we fix the arenas? That's how the thoughts started. Okay, so how do we fix the arenas? And I'm just like racking my brain because the numbers are so out of hand. How do you fix that? You know. But at the same time, if you just make everything milestones, you kind of lose the I don't want to say the grind behind it, because it still takes, it would still take effort to get milestones, but there's just something about the crazy grind to earn these characters, or more importantly, Kabam is trying to push you to buy crystals. So it's like, how do you mess with that without ruining Kabam's ability to make money and make people feel like when they reward these things, they've really done something? But at the same time, to miss out on a character is, and I've done it many times before, is very, very disheartening. And right now, the scores are so incredibly high. You have people putting in tons and tons of hours and millions of points and still missing out. So how do we fix that? And how do we do it by incorporating this new solo competitive mode? So my idea would be to split the solo competitive mode into basically two ways of playing it. So this first one that I'm calling the meta decks, this is, I think, the closest to what we're actually going to see in the game. So meta decks are built based on your individual roster. So the characters that you have pulled, the characters that you have ranked up, there are no restrictions. Whatever's on your roster, you can throw into your deck. So as the name would suggest, whatever is meta, whoever the best defenders are, the best offensive characters, the best hybrid characters, the best matchups, you build your deck around that each season. And these seasons run for 2 weeks, a month. I have no idea how long they run for, but they run for a set amount of time, I guess similar to Alliance Wars. These are designed specifically for you to kind of have the highest level of competition, to flex your skill, your champ knowledge, your matchup knowledge, how you pick, how you build your decks. A way for you to flex your roster for the guys that are spending tons of money. It's cool. It's fine. Do what you want. It's a way for them to beat up on each other and have incentives to continue to pay money for crystals and rank up these characters. Right? That's easily understood. You basically, the game will start. It'll come. Be introduced to the game. Everybody's gonna have like a 0 rating for that season, and then as you play, as you win, as you lose, you're going to start being assigned like an individual seasonal rating for that season. And so let's say I'm rated at 100. I'll be matched up with people that are within 10 to 20% of my score. So if I'm beating people with higher scores than me, you know, I'm earning more points than you know, if I'm beating up on people who are further below me. But as the season goes on and you're playing and you're winning, you know, you're losing some and falling down in the rankings, you're winning some, you're going up in the rankings. At the end of the season, you are given rewards based upon your individual seasonal rating. And then what'll happen is that season's done, but now you are given a personal rating, okay? And that's a way for you to just sort of flex on your profile. It'll be on your individual profile, and it'll be kind of an average of... Alexa, to teach off. Sorry about that. We're live. This is all happening in one shot. What was I saying? So you'll have a personal rating that'll be an average of all of your seasonal ratings. That'll be on your profile. And then this, as the season starts, your seasonal rating is wiped and you start over again. Okay, that I think is, I don't want to spend too much time there. I think that's easily understood. I think a similar version of that is what we're going to see in the game. Over on the other side, wild decks, which I have so brilliantly stole from Hearthstone. Wild decks are all characters, the whole roster of characters is available to you. It is not based on your individual roster. If it's a playable character in the game, it'll be available in the wild decks. However, each season in the wild decks, they're going to restrict you based on any number of things you want to make up. If you've got, let's say there's a Spider-Man, is it Far From Home coming out? So maybe that individual season, you see a lot of, you know, Spider-Verse characters, villains, heroes, people that synergize with Spider-Man characters. Okay, and you could do that for any season on the wild decks you want. So whatever filtered version of the character list is available in the wild deck for that season, you'll have all of them, whether they're on your roster or not. So the main purpose of the wild decks is to help you to build your roster. So this is more geared towards beginning, intermediate / advanced, however you want to break that up, as a way for you to build your roster, which you'll see how this ties back into the arena in a second. A way for you to consistently build your roster, and a way for you, and especially I say you, a way for like earlier players to experience more of the characters that are available in the game. I think it would be a lot of fun to play with characters you don't have, and if you play with somebody and you really enjoy them but you don't have them, it may incentivize you to go buy a bunch of crystals or save up these champ tokens we're about to talk about to go and try to grind out in the arena and get them. I think there's a lot of benefit to having the whole roster available to these newer players. Anyway, so moving on. So the point of these rewards in the wild decks, and these seasons are probably going to be a little bit quicker than the meta deck seasons. I'm still playing around with that idea. You'll earn battle chips, which I didn't mention this before in the meta decks, but you're playing solo competitive, you're earning battle chips, gold, units, you'll have milestones. It's a way to compensate the missed time in the arena, right? So you're still getting the rewards. But unlike meta decks where there's like a huge seasonal reward, rank up materials, a bunch of crystal shards, yada, yada, yada. In the wild decks, the seasonal rewards that are given out are champ tokens, which I'll explain in a second. You don't have necessarily like a personal rating that is associated with your time spent in the wild deck. All you're doing is you're going in, and similar to arenas, as you win individual fights and bonus points for overall winning the match, you're just gaining points. You're not losing points and falling necessarily like you would in the meta deck if you lose a game. You're just going in similar to an arena, and you're trying to win as many games as is possible. And so you're based on tier. Your tier is based on the number of points you have. So let me scroll down real quick. Let me go back over here. Hopefully that lines up. Okay, so let's dig in a little deeper into the wild decks. So right now I've got this broken up into 3 tiers. You can make this any number of tiers that you want. So the wild deck season starts. Okay, so they decide to narrow the roster down to 60 characters. All 60 of them are available to you. You pull 30 of those out. You got your deck. You're ready to roll. Season starts. In order to get into earning the rewards, like you have to get up into the base tier, which is this guy here, this green one. You have to win a certain number of games. Okay, which in this instance, I've made it 10. You could make it any number. You could make it less. You could make it more. Whatever makes sense. So you got to at least go in. You got to play. You got to win at least 10 matchups. If you do that, you've at least earned yourselves the base rewards for the base tier. Okay, and once you're in here, so here's you. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me go back here. So here's you. Let me grab it. Oh my word, what are we doing? I just want my base. This is what I get for trying to do this live. Here we go. I got it. Sorry, it's not an OBS. It's back on the internet. Okay, so here's you. So bing, bang, bobbity boom. You knock out 10 games. You get yourself up into this bottom threshold. Or you push yourself through the threshold into the bottom tier. So what you're doing now is you're not fighting people that are of a similar rating to you, because everybody is using the same list of characters that they can pick from. Nobody necessarily has more advantage or another in that sense. It's just based upon your skill. So you load up a random game, it pulls up a random person in the wild deck, you fight them, and you earn points. So the more points that you earn, the higher up you're going to go. You'll cross yourself over into this middle tier, hopefully with ambitions of trying to push yourself up into this top tier by the time that the season is over. So when the season is finally over, I've got these champ tokens, which I kind of hate that term, but I couldn't come up with anything else. So you've got yourself these champ tokens. The champ tokens are used to then go buy characters as milestones in the arenas. So there is nothing worse than going after a character and spending a lot of time and not getting them. That is so deflating and so unmotivating for me as somebody who doesn't have a huge roster to attempt that. That's one of the big areas that I think the arena needs some help in. There's a lot of others. So you earn these champ tokens. So the bottom tier, you get 1. Middle tier, you're going to get 2 of these 5-star tokens. And then the highest tier, you'll get 1 6-star token. So you're taking these tokens. All right. So let's take the example of a new character is introduced. So let's use Null. Okay. So Null is introduced into the arena for the first time. The first time a character is in the arena, if it's 5-star tokens, we're talking about 5-star featured arena, you can spend 5 tokens and Null will be available to you as a milestone. Okay? For the sake of using easy numbers, we'll just make it's 50 million points is the milestone if you spend 5 tokens on a first-time character in the arena. So you go in, you're guaranteed the character if you hit 50 million points, which is still a little bit of a stretch, right? Not everybody's going to be able to do that. But at least you know, if I put the hours in, I spend the units, I blow resources, I hit 50 million points, I have the character, right? And you've spent a lot of time getting yourself to this point where that's available to you. The next time, so I don't know, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, the next time Null comes into the arena, so the second time, it's 1 less token. So you spend 4 tokens. Now the cutoff drops down. Let's just call it 40 million points. Okay, maybe that number's different, but let's say it comes down to 40 million points. The third time Null comes into the arena, again, it drops down a token. You can spend 3 tokens. Now the milestone is 30 million points. And so forth all the way down to 1. Okay? So the idea behind this is if I'm a new character, listen to me. If I'm a new player, right, and I don't have the kind of roster it's going to take to grind out 30, 40, 50 million points and get these 5-star characters in the arena. And I realize not all of them are like that. Like Silver Centurion, I think had a cutoff of like 16 mil. So this doesn't make sense for all arenas. But if I'm a new player to the game, I'm trying to build my roster, I can take my tokens instead of hoarding them until I have 5 and going all out. Maybe I spend 1 or 2 on characters that have been running through the arena several times, and I can guarantee myself, hey, if I can hit 10 mil, if I can hit 20 mil, you know, that is attainable to me. I can do that if I push myself. I'm guaranteed that character. So now I'm building my roster. At some point, the idea behind this would be you've now built yourself up to the point where it's like, does it really make sense for me to continue to grind out the wild deck? You know, is my roster big enough that I feel confident that I can really go for one of these featured grinds and put up 150 million, 190 million plus? So the idea would be at some point to like start graduating out of the wild deck, so to speak, unless you really want to get in there and grind out for that top percentage where you have a 6-star token. So it's the same idea, but it's not the 5-star featured, it's the 6-star featured. And that obviously would need to scale. Maybe it takes, you know, 6 tokens for the first time a character comes through, and then it scales back. Obviously the numbers for the milestone will have to be adjusted up, but the idea is still the same. Wow, I just talked for a long time. I hope that was a little more clear than when I presented it on Tuesday. I felt like I was kind of all over the place. I realize there's still a lot that needs to be flushed out here, which I'm not even talking about like how solo competitive is going to be played. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there, obviously. I'm just talking about sort of like the main ideas of why you would play it and the rewards that are available to you for spending time doing it. So again, do I expect Kabam to listen or implement any of this stuff? Probably not. But I feel like if we don't get the conversations going and start throwing around ideas, we're probably going to be upset with what comes out or upset with what does not come out. So I like to be somewhat proactive, and I enjoy it, so it's easy for me to do. We'll talk more about this in the live streams coming up tomorrow. Actually, I'm recording this Thursday night, but we're going to stream Friday. Speaking of which, I do a lot of live streams. I don't have time to make a lot of videos like this, but live streaming is what we do Monday, Tuesday night, and typically Thursday night. Would love to see you in there. We have a lot of fun. We do a lot of crazy stuff. So yeah, follow me down in the description. You'll find my link on Twitter. That'll let you know when we're going live. If you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Parts of it that, you know, maybe I think makes sense, but, you know, maybe you have a totally different perspective on it, ways to change it, fix it, why it wouldn't work, why it would work. Would love to hear it all. Okay, don't be ashamed to leave a comment. If you have something more lengthy you want to say or some sort of picture you want to send, again, you can hit me up over on Twitter. I'm pretty active over there every day checking stuff. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. Would also appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. Would help me out tremendously. Until I see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.